Right. So you basically, and the emotions swing in between these two extremes, of course, depending on the person, but you've got basically your camp of Jim's our guy. It's business. We understand you're going to look at options, and the NFL is attractive. He's been successful there before. And I think he's in the unique position where you've got a successful college coach who's already been successful to, again, for anyone who wants to check the record, who forgets, go back, look at his San Francisco State, highly successful at the NFL level, but he's got unfinished business, as we've discussed, both at Michigan and at the NFL level. So you've got your folks that are taking a reasonable, and I don't want to say that's the right approach, but that more measured approach of, okay, he's still our coach. We're glad, and he's put us in a good place, and we're coming off a great season. Let's continue on. Let's forget what's happened, and he's pledged his allegiance to Michigan. Then we swing it to the other end of the spectrum. We got people that are like, are you kidding me? He obviously wanted to be in the NFL, and when it didn't work out, he's back in our lap, and it took him 35 days to figure this out. We could have hired somebody else, go down the list, Dave Aranda, Bill O'Brien, Matt Rule, on down the list. And why did we keep him in when we're the leftovers?
And to be honest, Mark, I can see both sides, right?
Yeah.
I truly do. I think both can be true. You can be excited that Jim Harbaugh's back with Michigan because I'll say this: the way that I was putting it with some guys last night, it's the best case scenario for Michigan for the near future, right? It is you have consistency, you're rolling, you've got the offense back, those types of things. But you can still be frustrated with how it all panned out, the fact that you do feel like a plan B a little bit to him. Both of those things can be true. So also, Mark, we know this: Michigan fans can be very irrational at times, and so you think about it. 2020, it's fire Harbaugh for sure. Get rid of him. He's done nothing for us. 2021 wins the Big Ten championship, beats Ohio State. He's the king. We want him forever. Not a month later, it's get rid of him. He doesn't want to be here. He's in the NFL. Now again, it's all right. He's back. He's all in. It is that back and forth. And so I think there are a bunch of fans that are on both ends of the spectrum. But I think both can be true, like I said. So that was my take. Is I'm glad to have him back. I think it is the best case scenario for Michigan, where they're in the best spot to win in 2022 with Jim Harbaugh at the helm, right? If it's somebody else, then who knows who's transferring, what coaches are there, who's the quarterback, even all those types of things. So you're with Jim Harbaugh at the helm in 2022. That's their best case for winning. But I was still very frustrated with the process of it. Did take 35 days. He did have interest. It did feel like a plan B a little bit.
And it is possible. We don't like to think of it this way, especially if you're a Michigan fan. It is possible to have interest in multiple jobs, multiple relationships, whatever is going on in your life, depending on how you've gotten into that situation. It is possible to be torn.
Totally. I mean, think about it. He's 58. This is probably his last chance to make a move like that. I don't want to say never, right? But I think that, he's probably thinking, I didn't win that Super Bowl. I lost to my brother in the Super Bowl. I'm sure that nags at him. We all know the Harbaughs. They're super ultra competitive, right? So I think that he's probably still thinking, I would love to have a Super Bowl win in my career. The Vikings is not a bad job. And honestly, none of those jobs that he was being considered for are bad jobs. You've got decent quarterbacks at all three of them. It's not a full rebuild. He has great relationships with the owners and GMs of all of them. So I think it's okay for him to explore those options. And the thing is that, like you just said, it's possible for him to be curious about those, still have interest in those jobs, and still love what he does here at Michigan and love the university as well. It doesn't have to be if he wants to go to the NFL, he's thinking screw Michigan, right? So I think that it's just one of those things. This happens all the time, right? With coaches out there where they explore their other opportunities. And think about Lincoln Riley. That was a bad situation for Oklahoma, right? I think that would have been a similar situation for Michigan where you feel like you have so much momentum. You finally got over the hump. If Jim Harbaugh were to have left, it was like you really left us in the dust, even though Jim Harbaugh has this program in a better spot than it's been in 15 years, right?